My name is Harry Cartmill, and I have the privilege of being a councillor here in the town. But I am a proud Bathgate bairn, born in Carlisle Terrace, Bathgate, and this is my hometown. I haven't always lived here. I lived away as an adult, but I'm very passionate about the town and very passionate about the Bathgate Hills Venture. So many stories I could tell about Bathgate, but I'm given 5 minutes. So I think that my talk today was about Bathgate's hidden history. So I think that's what I'll concentrate on. I'll speak about something that happened here, 1746. So 1745, Charles Edward Stuart, Bonnie Prince Charlie, arrived in Eriskay and then landed in Glenfinnan. And his story has been pretty well told, about how he tried to get the British crown back for the Stuart family. What some people may not know is that the Stuart dynasty effectively started here in Bathgate when in 1316 Robert the Bruce's daughter, Princess Marjorie, married Walter Stuart. And he was Walter the Lord High Stewart. The name was abbreviated to Stuart. Often in the royal family, your surname is kind of your title. And their son went on to be King Robert II of Scotland and spent much of his formative years here in Bathgate. So we can claim, although he wasn't born here, Robert II was born in Paisley, we can claim that it played a big part in the start of the Stuart dynasty, which of course went right through to Charles Edward Stuart, 1745. But in 1746, after one of the biggest pieces of fake news ever, 1745, when Bonnie Prince Charlie went down to Derby and he was told by a messenger that London was surrounded by troops and don't try go down there and take the crown, it was rubbish. There was nobody there. If he had gone down, he could have gone straight on the throne. But Bonnie Prince Charlie turned back and then things really went south after that. 1746, he arrived here in Bathgate, leaving the safety of Holyrood. He stayed with the Norvell family, who were Jacobite sympathisers, landowners, very wealthy people. The army stayed at the Clinkenstane in Bathgate, which is up towards the Knockhill, up in the hills, which is what this venture is all about. And they looked down to where the Norvell's big house was. The big house was quite near where the present junction is as you enter the M8 motorway if you were heading to Edinburgh. Of course, it looked incredibly different in those days. There was a water source there. It was a beautiful view over to the Pentland Hills, and that's where the Norvell family were. So Bonnie Prince Charlie stayed 3 days of his life here, the army camping up at the Clinkenstane. They gave him food, provisions, and money, because he was beginning to run out of all of them. And there's a wee poem, and I only know a couple of lines of it. Bonnie Charlie's army are camped at the Clinkenstane. Their maesters wi' the Norvilles, they're making him at hame. And I don't know the rest of that poem. But he was treated very well for the 3 days. And I often wonder, if he hadn't spent the 3 days here and got these food, provisions, and I believe weapons as well, would he then have gone on to Glasgow Green, to Falkirk, to Stirling, and then ultimately up to the Battle of Culloden? Would he have done that? It's speculation, we'll never know that. But he spent 3 days here. And yet most people in Bathgate are completely unaware of this part of Jacobite history, not aware that we had this incredible presence here. Sometimes I get asked, just a little, to the last aside, why is Bathgate called Bathgate? You think of the town of Bath, very, very English town. Bathgate, it sounds very English, doesn't it? Well, actually, it's from the Cumbrian Bathgate, and it means wood off the boar. If you search back in history far enough, you will find that at one point this part of Scotland was actually part of Cumbria, and we spoke with a Cumbrian. That's why I get slightly annoyed when people tell me Gaelic was always Scotland's national language. It was in parts of Scotland, but never this part of Scotland. Cumbrian was spoke here, and bat means wood, and ket means boar, wood off the boar, because the royals would hunt here. I'm sure the area was probably covered in oak trees. It was probably a lovely hunting kind. It was quite a lush place. I could go on at length, but that was my little snippet of Bathgate's hidden history, the story of Bonnie Prince Charlie, Charles Edward Stuart's time here in Bathgate.